Hey, guess what? You're gonna die one day.
Gather us in the lost and forsaken. Gather us in the blind and the lame.
All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to a bonus edition of the Performer Cigar Garage Talks. How's everyone doing? I'm in a weird mood today. Smoking a fun cigar, drinking kind of an interesting drink, and talking about a topic that we all have to come to terms with. That's right, folks, death. What are we smoking? What are we drinking? So this is half of, let's see, I have this tag right here. Come on. Half of the Bohemian Twin. It is a cigar from the Sideshow Cigars. It's a Calibre cigar, which means snake. There are two cigars that's wrapped together. Please check out the previous video. I'll put a little link up there for it to see the full cigar. Kind of a fun cigar. They're two cigars wound together. Designed so the ladies who make them can take home more than one cigar when they're done rolling cigars at the cigar shop or cigar factory. This is the Maduro half, the darker half. Very delicious. For the drink tonight, went something a little, we've had this before. Deer Camp American Lager from Upper Hand Brewery, the local brewery here. Thank you guys very much. They brew a lot of really good beers. More than once, they have made their appearance on these videos. I do have some cherries in the bottom of my glass. It's kind of this new thing I'm trying where you put cherries in the first drink you have for the day. Let them soak up the flavors of everything you drink throughout the day. So you get a nice, nice amber beer there, nice American lager. Love it. If you guys just saw the first video, I didn't spill my beer this time. I was trying to show off the color, spilled it. Whoopsies. Upper Hand Brewery, great little brewery, local one here. Love their stuff. Who knows, maybe one day I'll have a big enough following that I can actually have them as a sponsor, but then I don't want to because I don't like sponsors. They tell you what you can say and what you can't say, and I don't believe in that. So anyway, kind of a bonus little war story video. As promised, I did a double video with the Calibre cigar, because there's two cigars in one. Do not smoke them together. Well, maybe I'll throw a picture up here if I can. If I remember, I'll throw a picture up of what a Calibre cigar looks like. Yeah, let's talk about death. It is something, if you're in EMS, if you're in public service, you are going to run into all the time. If you're a soldier, you both deal out death and deal with people dying. If you're in law enforcement, again, you might have to confront your own death, the death of others that you are either having to treat or find, or your own death. Those of us, though, I'm going to zero in those of us who are in EMS. We deal with death on a regular basis. We fight it, we fail to it, we see it, and we experience it. We get close to it. I have been in every realm of the spectrum. I've almost died on the rig more times than I care to admit to myself. And I've been there when people have died, were dying, and more than one person has died in front of me. Because of that, I have a weird relationship with death. My death, the idea of me dying, doesn't bother me. I've said that on many videos. I've come to terms with the fact that one day I am going to die. I try to live my life accordingly. No YOLO, you only live once type bullshit. No trying to bucket list it or anything like that. I try to live my life because I am very religious. I've talked about this before. I'm very Catholic. I do understand that I'm going to be judged when I die. And I try to live accordingly. I try to help others. I try to be honest. I try to not cheat, swindle, lie, take advantage of, anything like that. And that's a whole video for itself, how to live a life prepared to die. Maybe one of these days here soon I'll shoot that video. How to live like one day you're going to die. But no, let's just talk about, this is a war story, right? I have a lot of stories about me confronting other people's death and me confronting my own death. A lot of opinions about it. First off, most people throughout the world don't realize that one day they're going to die. After birth, the only thing you are guaranteed in this life is death. Morbid, right? Morbid video. Which is fine. We got to have these ones intermixed with all the funny videos, all the advice videos. Oh, my camera got all cattywampus. Hold on. Sorry if you got, hopefully that didn't make you motion sickness, but that was kind of bothering me. It was kind of off kilter there. What have I experienced when it comes to death? One, I've been close myself. Multiple ambulance accidents. I've had knives pulled on me. I've had guns pulled on me. I had a patient who had my death planned out. Not me specifically. He didn't know me or know that it was going to be me who took the call. But his goal was to murder me, my partner, and the corrections officer, the prison guard who was in with us. He was going to murder us all so that he could escape down to Detroit to see his family. Nothing personal, he said, as I dropped him off at the hospital after I thwarted his plans to kill me, my partner, and the CO. You know, like it was nothing. You know, just so you know, nothing personal. Kind of the guy at the parking lot who accidentally takes your parking spot not knowing you were waiting for that one. Nothing personal. It's amazing how some people are so nonchalant about other people's death, about causing other people's death. I've treated many murderers. I've talked about how I worked at a facility or worked for an agency who responded to multiple prisons. They could justify killing someone. It was my duty. You know, they deserved to die. You know, it was me or them. It was only right. The higher power that be wanted them dead. You know, whatever belief system that prisoner hold demanded their death. Unofficially, of course, I treated terrorists. They were actually placed in UP prisons for a while until, thankfully, the president put a kibosh to that. I won't mention which president. Took them out of the UP prisons, but that was a thing. We had terrorist prisoners we had to deal with. But let's talk more about death. Again, it's going to happen to all of us. We're all going to die. I'm watching a very interesting video series on Formed. I believe it's called The Eternal Rest. It's I think an 8-part series zeroing in on death. Very interesting stuff. To learn about what a Catholic believes about death, believes about heaven, hell, judgment. I'm currently in the Good Death episode. I believe it's the name of the Good Death, or Lay Me to Rest. Started off amazingly. There is a order of nuns who do a death watch. They run an old folks home for people who are terminal. They make sure that a nun is with every person 24/7, 365 days a year. And when they're about to expire, these nuns are very proficient at seeing when someone's going to die. They have a ceremony where they get together, they hold a candle with the one who's dying and share prayers and last thoughts and be with them as they pass on to the next life. If I had went into the priesthood, I just have a feeling I'd have been drawn to that ministry. Helping someone to pass on just gives me comfort almost. They did have an interesting little hyperbole that little story, little insight, shall I say, talking about how when you're dying, you should pray to Saint Joseph, because Saint Joseph, the foster father of Jesus, had the best death ever. Catholics hold the tradition that he did die in Jesus' lifetime, and that Mary and Jesus were on his left and right when he passed on. and how that should be our ideal, our what we hope for is that Mary and Jesus are with us during our death. Amazing, amazing thing to think of and pray about and to almost hope for. I mean, that's now, when it comes to my death goals, that's up there. That I live such a holy life and a good life, and I treated others so well that both Mary and Jesus feel it fit to be on my sides when I pass on to the next life. Very powerful, very powerful. I'm going to watch that series, I think, all the way through. I might even watch it twice. It's very powerful stuff. In case any of you are curious, you definitely can, when you're with someone who's dying, you know the second their soul has left their body. I can't explain it. If you've been around death, you will 110% know what I'm talking about. You know that look, that feeling you get when someone dies, but that's it. There's no amount of resuscitation that's going to bring them back. Their soul has left their body. Then we're just left with that human remains, the shell of who they were. You can feel it. You can sense it. I've been on a few calls. I swear to you, I could see it. I could see the second they passed on. I knew that that was it. They were gone. Many people approach death differently. Some people, it's a welcome. They've had pain and suffering. They've lived long lives. They've dedicated their life to prayer and sacrifice into the church. They're ready to go. Been around other people who've squandered their lives. Made it about themselves and YOLO and all those other words that you use to explain that, live the best you can. No. Do the best you can, yes. But you shouldn't be living for worldly goods. I've been around those people. Their deaths are not pleasant. They're not good. The sense of uncertainty as they pass on to the next life, it's scary. It's almost horrifying to watch. You really feel for them as they pass on because they don't know what they were thinking with how they live their lives. Family reactions can be widespread. Some people, one of the funniest ones, a good war story for you. So we're sitting here, we get called to a house, and they think their father may have died, and hook up the EKGs, the monitors, and yeah, he had died. Do some physical tests, find some rigor, not a ton, but enough to indicate, yeah, he's dead. Probably died in the night. Sitting there with an EMS student, and we do an end-of-life counseling that they train us for. And the student's like, "Hey, can I do the end-of-life counseling?" No problem. You want to take that bull by the horns and ride her? Go for it. So he's in there, and he told the family, "Well, your father died," and he starts doing everything right. Do you guys want to talk about it? Share a memory? Is there something you want to, like, do you want to go pray over the body or visit it? Well, as he's breaking into his spiel, they start stealing everything, pulling shit off shelves, grabbing stuff off of jars and boxes, and putting stuff in their pockets. They're robbing this dead guy blind. He's like, what do we do? I was like, we call the cops. Because they just wanted what's theirs. They wanted what was owed to them by Dad. Called the cops, got them involved. It was a whole thing, court case. It was messy. Sad another one. The guy was not exactly dead yet. Very close, but he had a DNR. They asked us to sit with him and confirm when he died. We did. Talked to them, did the actual prayers and the post-mortem care with the family. And then finally he went asystole, stopped breathing. And it was a relief. There was joy, there was laughter. Apparently, this individual had suffered a lot during these last few weeks, but he had really started to reconnect with his family, mended a lot of broken relationships. And it was beautiful. Um, really was a good death. He had really started to become a really good person, they said. He had started really caring about his family, asking about his grandkids, sharing memories, telling the secrets that you don't tell people, how proud you are of them, or how great they actually are, what good parents they are. He started sharing all that. It's beautiful, beautiful to see. I've had others where they get angry, they yell at you, they scream at you, they throw stuff, they get violent. I had one pull a gun on us and demand that we save their loved one's life. But there was nothing we could do. The person had definitely passed. I've been in funny situations with death. One, they're pretty sure that Grandpa had died. We said, okay, yeah. We went in the back. Looked like Grandpa had died. Sure, no problem. And then we pull back the covers, and he's got his hand buried into his pants. Grandpa died doing something a little embarrassing, shall we say. And the family's all like, well, we want to come see him one last time and get him dressed and get him cleaned up. And they want to be very hands-on. So, thankfully, the funeral home showed up. Grace, I said, you can't come back yet. We're still doing our tests. Funeral home showed up. I talked to the mortician. He's like, don't worry. If you could just give me 5 minutes and be loud, that'd be great. So we are giving him his 5 minutes. I gathered the family for a little prayer circle. I did my best Southern Baptist preacher voice to be loud, but you could definitely hear a very wet crack as he broke the rigor, freed the hand, put it back in a more natural position. And the family could go in there. They actually did, get Grandpa cleaned up and whatnot before the funeral home took him away. Been involved in Native American death ceremonies, where you have to have a family member stay with the body through the entire process. I was invited to help tend a eternal fire. So they start a burial fire, a death fire, depends on the translation, that has to keep burning until the person is interred. So I helped gather wood, I helped stock the fire, I talked to the family while they were sitting there tending the flames. I think it was 4 days. 4 days that fire burned. Very beautiful ceremony, of course. Pro tip, if you're in EMS, do not read the obituaries. We had one medic, that's what she did. She would read the obituaries every single week, see what patients she treated that had died. Don't read those. Read the comics instead. She did not last long. She had a lot of mental health issues from ruminating on the patients she lost. We've had a whole host of issues. We had one older female patient, pretty much had expired. Got there, ran the EKG, did the physical assessment, found the rigor, found the blood pooling. Yeah, she had definitely passed. And usually it was me who did the post-mortem care, when you deal with the family and talk to them and whatnot. But all of a sudden my partner's like, hey, I got this. Which raised some alarm bells. He had never wanted to do post-mortem care. It wasn't his thing, was pretty much a devout agnostic, and he hated people. He hated dealing with people. He starts walking around, he's like, well, why don't we walk around the house and talk about the house? I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Well, he's like, I kind of feel like you're your grandmother here, she was a bit of a do-it-yourselfer. Oh yeah. She actually rewired this addition, but the wire was really expensive, so she took extension cords. No way, she took extension cords, right? Ran it through. What about the well? Is this something like, would she have dug her own or like drilled her own? Yeah, she drilled her own well, very shallow well. We always told her it wasn't good for her health, but she lived to be 90, so what do we have to say? Oh, a shallow well. No doubt. And finally, it dawns on me. My EMT partner was looking for a new house. This person had a good plot of land, a pretty decent house. Even asking, well, what are you guys going to do with this house? Oh, we're all pretty well off. We don't need another house. We're probably going to just sell it. Oh, you don't say. Sure enough, fast forward, and that went up for market, and he went in and told the realtor, I think I want an inspection of the wiring in this wall. I want an inspection of the well. He knew all the dirty secrets because he did the post-mortem care. Got the place for a decent price. Not a steal of the deal, mind you, but a pretty decent price. He got the place. Ethical? No. Funny? You can judge that, right? It's the beholder that finds something funny. But personally, we all need to be ready. Again, don't ruminate around it. Don't want death or seek death. There was a time and a place when I did a bunch of activities that were bad for my health. Extreme sports, looking for the next adventure, facing death head on. One of the reasons I probably became a medic is because it brought me closer to my death. Luckily, I grew out of that, realized that was not the way to go, realized that respecting death, being better Catholic, praying, understand that my time here is short, loving people, respecting people, being kind to my fellow brethren, doing the best I could for other people. That's where the path was I needed to be on and what I strived to try to do. Did I always? No. Did I fall and fail? Oh yeah, big time. Now, I will have to admit, one of the things why I got into EMS is after one of my ambulance accidents, one of them, I realized that I could die. And I was fine with that. But then I realized when my wife almost died, and when homeschooling mom almost died on me, that it wasn't about me. I wasn't the one who'd be affected by my death. It was my friends and family, my kids. They were the ones that are going to be affected by my death. So I had a paradigm shift, a transformation in my belief and understanding. No more did I seek my own death or put my own life needlessly on the line. Led to me getting out of EMS because I did not want to leave my wife and kids unexpectedly and have to deal with me being gone. That wasn't right to them. I owed them more, especially with the life I had lived. I owed them a lot more. So although I'm still perfectly fine with my death, I know I'll be judged. I hope I have lived accordingly to God and Jesus' commandments and will and orientated myself that I will be accepted probably into purgatory. I'm not a great person, I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of fallings, but that I will eventually find God's favor and be in his loving embrace. But your life isn't just about you. That's very selfish. Your life is about everyone else. It's about taking care of everyone else and being with everyone else. And I realized that after my second ambulance accident, watching homeschooling mom almost die, that there's more to the story about my life. And I needed to be there for my wife and my children. So that's why I got out eventually. I don't want to say I was afraid of death, but yeah, I feared where my family would be when I died and how they'd be adversely affected. So now I sit in this interesting place with death. I definitely am trying to work out more, trying to stay healthy, especially for baby boy. I'm going to try and stay around as long as I can to guide him, protect him, and look out for him. I'm going to try and stay around as long as I can for homeschooling mama. And I realized that my life is not mine. It took me years. I heard in Bible school and in church that my life is not mine. It belongs to someone else. And that's true. It's not mine to throw away or do anything with. It is someone else's. And that's how I have to live my life, for someone else. Because otherwise I'd be back on the rig. I'd be chasing down every opportunity I could to face death. I probably would have volunteered for some of those COVID hotspots, or hell, going to Mars to be the medic on Mars, right? But I realize that I have a duty to stay alive for those ones who love me, who cherish me above all other things. I mean, I'll still lay my life down for them. I'll lay my life down for strangers. I'll lay my life down for the right cause. But I don't pursue it. I sit back and I realize that I have worth being here. And I owe it to my family to be here. And I hope you can see that too. You are valuable to someone. You are meaningful to someone. Someone loves you more than you ever know. You affect someone in a positive fashion more than you can comprehend. It's because of that that we need to go on. We need to see this life to its fruition, not chase down death or excitement or whatever it is that we feel is more important to us, because our life is not ours. It belongs to God and His plan, and it belongs to those who love us, whether we know them or not. We might not even know the people who love us or realize they love us, but we owe them our lives. Because without us, someone else is hurting. Without us, someone else is not going to do well. Without us, someone is going to suffer. Yeah, it's easy to choose death. Trust me, I know a lot of people who chose it. Saw a lot of suicides, a lot of homicides, a lot of lives half-lived. It's not our right to pick that for anyone. It's not our right. We need to be there for the others, whatever that might be. We need to be there for the ones we haven't met, the ones we still have work to do. As the local priest here says, we're put on this earth for a reason, for a purpose. And only we can do that purpose. No one else can. No one else can do our purpose for us. Only we can. So we need to strive for that purpose. And I hate to tell you, some of you are going to hear this, but you have to be alive to fulfill that purpose. So there you go, folks. Death. Don't be afraid of it. Unless you've led a wicked life or a non-religious life, then fear the hell out of it. And then chase down that religion, that belief in something greater than you. Because trust me, there is something greater for you than just YOLO or whatever trendy thing there is going on, the next YouTube video, the next TikTok trend, whatever it is. Your life has meaning, more than you'll ever know. You're put on this earth for a purpose. I don't know what that purpose is. You don't know what that purpose is. Only God does. And you will fulfill that purpose, because only you can do it. I can't do it for you. Can't pay someone. You can't bribe someone. Only you can do that purpose. So get out there and do it. But don't fear death. Be good with God. You don't know where you're going to end up. Trust me, I don't even know where I'm going to end up. I hope I pray, I fast, I sacrifice, I try to align my life with God, but truthfully, I don't know. Is what I'm doing enough? I'll find out one day, as we all will, because the one constant in life, once you're born, is one day you're going to die. So why don't we get ready for that? We really should. Teach it in schools. Get ready for your death, because that's the one constant in life. Once you have life, death is coming for you. Anyway, folks, I'm going to enjoy a dark cigar with a tasty beer. Maybe watch some more of my Eternal Rest video series on Formed. Highly recommend you get Formed. Great videos on there. And yeah, review your life with the idea that one day you're going to die. And where is that going to leave you? Where is that going to put you? Please stay safe out there. I hope your death doesn't come before my next video. We'll see you on the next one.